evening, Lagos. Good evening, Nigeria. Welcome to the big story here on Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. It is the Independence Day special. Happy Independence Day, Nigeria. Now, for the next 2 hours, we'll take a look at Nigeria at 65. That's the milestone. And we'll be doing this through the perspective of the youths, from the perspective. So this 2 hour special is divided into 4 segments. There'll be that reflection on independence. What does independence mean? You know, especially for our youths, right? And so that will be up until 4:30. At 4:30 till 5 p.m., we'll have the second segment, which would focus on youth, politics, and governance. Okay, because we see the youths are the future leaders of tomorrow. We talk about politics, we talk about governance. So 4:30 up until 5. At 5 o'clock, we'll have the other segment, which is on the state of the nation. Okay, there's no way that we'll not talk about the state of the nation. We'll talk about this through education. You know, what is education like? You know, the quality of education, all the expectations, the economy as well. You know, health. Also looking at opportunities as well. So that will happen from 5 p.m. to 5:30. At 5:30 to 6 p.m., would react to the president's speech, okay? Because the president addressed the nation earlier today, and he talked about a lot of things, right? That the worst is over. And we also talk about nation building, you know, the expectations for the future. So that's what's going to happen on the show today. And I have 4 guests joining me, you know, to talk about this. We have 2 in the studio and we have 2 virtually. So let me start with those in the studio. We have Abdusalam Sharif Olayinka. He is the coordinator of Not Too Young to Run Hub, Lagos State College of Health Technology, LASCOET. It's great to have you on the program this evening. How are you doing? Is it LASCOET? Okay. All right. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Abdusalam. We also have Olaonikpeku Nohimat, who is the secretary, Not Too Young to Run Hub, also from LASCOET. It's great to have you in the studio. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy Independence Day.
Same to you.
Happy Independence Day to you.
Same to you.
All right. Also joining us virtually, we have the Lagos State University Students Union President. This is LASU. We have Mr. Jody Adebola. Good evening, Mr. Jody. It's great to have you on the program.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening, everybody. I am glad to be here. And a little correction, my surname is Adebobola, not Adebola. So
okay. Adebobola.
Yes, it's B-O-B-O-L-A. Yeah.
Right.
So my name is Comrade Ayomide Adebobola, popularly known as Jody. I am the 35th Lagos State University Student Union President, the Grand Commander of all Aluta forces in Lagos State University. Thank you.
All right, well done to you. Well, people around you will call you comrade. I don't belong to your association, so we'll just stick to, you know, Mr. Jody. But yes, thank you so much for that, and well done to you. We also have the president of LAWSAN, that's the Law Students Association of Nigeria. We have Blessing Adiogo. Good evening, Miss Blessing. It's great to have you on the program. Can you hear me?
Good evening, Ma. Thank you very much. It's more like a privilege. Yes, I can. Good evening. It's more like a privilege to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. So before we begin proper, we'll quickly go on a quick break and we would be right back.
Since 1894, we've witnessed the evolution of a nation and proudly partner with its people on their path to prosperity. From the ink-stained ledgers to fast transactions, First Bank has consistently adapted, embracing innovation and making giant strides across the globe. It's not just about banking, it's about enabling your success, generation after generation. Our legacy define the past, shape the present, and will still be fostering financial security and stability possibility for future generations. We're helping to create a future where the possibilities and where the world looks up to Africa. Let's awaken the giant in you. You first. First Bank.
Granbell International is a shipping solutions company that aims to meet your needs. Incorporated in New York in 2002, Granbell has grown to include offices and subsidiaries in Nigeria and other parts of Africa, Houston, Texas in USA, and Europe. We handle shipments worldwide. We provide shipping services for a wide range of items including air freight, ocean freight, 20 or 40-foot containers, trucking, warehousing, customs clearing, express services, consolidation, and imports, as well as pickups and delivery to your doorstep. You can find us at 21 Toyin Street, Ikeja, or call 0803-513-7916. You can also email us at info2@granbellinternational.com. We are on Instagram at Granbell International INC. At Granbell, customer satisfaction is very important to us.
This October, the voices of women will unite in a powerful call to action as Nigeria rises. Join us on Thursday, October 2nd, 2025 at the NAF Conference Center in Abuja, Nigeria for the Night Voice of Women Conference and Awards, VOW 2025. Speakers include Vice President Kashim Shatima, GCON, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Ponzile Nlambo Nkuka, former Deputy President of South Africa, Imam Suleiman Ibrahim, Minister for Women Affairs, Barrister Nkiru Onyejioja, Minister for State Labour, Adijat Adeleye, Kafilat Ogbara, Erelu Bisi Fayemi, Ansatu Adegbite, Sherifat Taliat, Ebere Mfendu, Gileva, British Deputy High Commissioner. VOW 2025 is a strictly by invitation event that celebrates the power of collective action where women rise together. This initiative, spearheaded by the Voice of Women Empowerment Foundation, is in collaboration with Women Radio 91.7 FM and supported by the MacArthur Foundation, Amandla Institute, First Bank, LIRS, NIMASA, and Asha Microfinance.
We are Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos.
Welcome back. This is still the big story. Independence Day is special, and we're taking a look at Nigeria at 65 from the perspective of the youths. And so if you are just joining us, it's going to be a 2-hour long program. You can also be a part of the conversation, right? Even the audience at home, you listening to us at home. The number to call is 0913-5000-953. You can also send a WhatsApp message to 0809-682-2595. You can take the numbers down at 5 p.m. Would open up the phone line. So yes, where do we begin? Let me begin with you, Mr. Abdul Salam. It's Independence Day, right? How do you feel about that? What does it mean to you?
Well, it's not just Independence Day. It is the 65th Independence Day of Nigeria.
All right, noted.
So when we talk about independence, independence actually means the freedom to dream, the courage to create our own paths, and the responsibility to build a better future for myself and for my nation.
Okay. So that's what it means to you. All right. Let me take it to Mr. Jody on this, Mr. Jody Adebobola. So for you, right, and again, you can speak generally, you're the president of your school. Do young people feel this independence mean anything in their lives today?
Well, I would not like to speak on behalf of everybody, because people have differing opinion and perspective. But looking at it from a major perspective, I think for major young people in Nigeria, like myself and many others, it's just another year of promises made, another year of inheriting promises. We really don't think nothing is changing, or probably nothing is going to change, but then it's just more like another year, because independence is something that we have been celebrating since we were in primary school. from primary school down to secondary school, and now at the university level, is more like nothing is really changing. So people are not really excited about it. I can tell you for a fact that many students are not really celebrating it, because just look at the state of the country, you would know that there is really nothing to celebrate. Thank you.
All right. And so, just like you have mentioned, Mr. Jody, Nigeria clocked 65, and it's 65 years since, we got that independence, really, since we declared that our own destiny was in our own hands, because basically that's what, the people wanted. But the question people have been asking is this the Nigeria that, they actually dreamt of, right? Because some of us were not born in the 60s, right? But for this year's theme, right, it is Nigeria at 65, all hands on deck for a greater nation. And what the presidency said is this underscores the need for unity, collaboration, and patriotism among the public sector, the private sector, civil society, and the citizenry towards building a nation characterized by sustainable peace, prosperity, and progress. So before I come to Blessing and Noimat, let's take a look at, part of what the president said in his Independence Day address, because he assured Nigerians that the worst is over. He admitted inheriting a broken economy, but defended, the tough reforms. So let's quickly take a listen to him.
Today marks the 65th anniversary of our great nation's independence. As we reflect on the significance of this day and our journey of nationhood since October 1960, when our founding fathers accepted the instrument of self-government from colonial rule, let us remember that their sacrifice, devotion, and grand dream of a strong, prosperous, and united Nigeria that will lead Africa and be the beacon of light to the rest of the world. Our founding hero and heroines, Herbert Macaulay, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Sir Amadu Bello, Margaret Ekpo, Anthony Enahoro, Ladoke Akintola, Michael Okpara, Aminu Kano, Fumilayo Ransom Kuti, and other nationalists believe it was Nigeria's manifest destiny to lead the entire black race as the largest black nation on earth. For decades, the promise of our independence has been tested by profound social, economic, and political challenges, and we have survived. While we may not have achieved all the lofty dreams of our forebearers, we have not strayed too far from them. In 65 years since our independence, we have made tremendous progress in economic growth, social cohesion, and physical development. Our economy has experienced significant growth since 1960, although it is much easier for those whose vocation is to focus solely on what ought to be. We must recognize and celebrate our significant progress. Nigerians today have access to better education and healthcare than in 1960. At independence, Nigeria had 120 secondary schools with a student population of about 130,000. Available data indicate that as of year 2024, there were more than 23,000 secondary schools in our country. At independence, we had only the University of Ibadan and Yaba College of Technology as the two tertiary institutions in Nigeria. By the end of last year, there were 274 universities, 183 polytechnics, and 236 colleges of education in Nigeria, comprising federal, state, and private institutions. We have experienced a significant surge in growth across every sector of our national life since independence, in healthcare, infrastructure, financial services, manufacturing, telecommunications, information technology, aviation and defense, among others.
All right, that was part of the president's speech. It was a 30 minutes long speech, but we'll get to it, especially when we get to the reactions to hear about other things that the president said. But I'll take it to Blessing at this point. It's been 65 years, right? Even if you cannot speak for the whole of 65 years. You're a Nigerian and for the time that you've been born. So how far would you say we have come as a nation for you?
Okay, thank you so much. For me, as I mentioned, it's more like a time or like a reminder of the sacrifices of our heroes, a day of pride, but also a moment to ask, are we truly free? Because to me, this independence is more than just a celebration. It's more like a time to reflect on how far we've come. Now, the question is how far we've come. How far have we come? Sorry. And I might not be able to outrightly give an exact statement on how far we've come, but I know that there's still work in progress, especially for young Nigerians who are the future. So it's also a day to ask hard questions. Are we truly independent in our economy, our minds, and in our opportunities? So as for me, we are still getting better.
Okay. And so I'll take it to Noimat on this, what she said about, are we truly independent? Is this the Nigeria, that you dreamt of?
I wouldn't have said I had any dream about Nigeria because I was not there in the 60s. But then Independence Day has gone a long way. But everyone is always asking, how far have we come? Is anybody asking, where are we going? We know where we are coming from, but we don't know how far we've come. The independence last year was celebrated differently from this year. But we should look at the big picture about what is going to happen next year and make provisions for it.
Okay, when you say it was celebrated differently, in what sense?
Last year, the promises made were different from the promises made this year. But they are always promises.
Right.
We don't get to see actions.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Noimat. And I'll take you back to you, Mr. Abdul Salam, right? Before we go on a break, for you, is this the Nigeria? I'm not saying in the 65 years since you've been born, you probably have a dream about, this is what you expect of your country, the expectations. Is this what you actually dreamt of?
Well, I won't say that was what I actually dreamt of. This is not what I actually dreamt of. But the president said that our Europe's past, they had dream for us.
Yeah.
We are not actually achieving the dream yet, but we are actually working towards it. There are progresses. Because I can actually recall when I got to my community 5 years ago, the place I'm living now is not actually the same way it is right now. So I can say that we're actually developing, but we are not actually in that level yet.
All right. And I'll take it to Mr. Jody. Same thing, right? The founding fathers, they had these dreams, goals. I mean, they were excited that we're going to govern ourselves. We're tired of, the British ruling us. They also thought about democracy and rule of law, the fact that we're going to elect, these people who would govern us, right? Where we can choose our leaders, enjoy the fundamental freedoms. Also, unity, right? So we all come together. There's that unity. Do you think we are able to achieve some of these things? In fact, they also talked about peace, and this comes with unity. Once there's unity, there's peace. The people ruling, you're all Nigerians. Do you think that, as at today, we're actually achieving some of these dreams of the founding fathers? Mr. Jody?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so on your question, like you rightly said, we're not there when all of these independence, struggles were done. So, but then,
so exactly. So that's why I'm trying to lay it out.
Yeah. I'm coming there. The history we read, what was promised and what we are experiencing today are two different things. Yeah, I'm not trying to say there has not been development. Nigeria has gone through a large development, ranging from our education sector, different sectors. We have achievements as a nation. But then the challenges are way more than the achievements. And to me, because I'm a very radical person, I like to speak my mind. And that is why whatever I'm saying here, I'm not speaking on behalf of Lagos State University. I'm speaking as a person, as the president. So I am not happy with the situation of things because I am closer to the students. I know what the students are going through. I know what their parents are going through. So, reflecting on everything is not something that makes me happy. And there are a lot of solutions that needs to be made. I feel like when we get to that bridge, we are going to cross it because I actually have some advice to give to the government on, things that I feel they should do. to improve the quality of things. Thank you.
No problem. We'll get to that. We'll get to your expectations and, advice that you have for the government and even for the people as well. Because at the end of the day, everybody has a role to play. But yes, we actually put them in government and so their expectations. But at this point, let's quickly go on a quick break and we'll be right back, for the second segment. This is still the Independence Day special.
We are Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos.
Be a part of our online community on Facebook. Like our page on www.facebook.com/This Is Radio Now to join every conversation on air and get up-to-date news information on the go.
The news that matters the most is the news that hits closest to home. If it touches your business, your family, your city, your schools, or your safety, we've got you covered. Everything that affects you is our concern. So, we go beyond, getting all the facts and serving you news and information you can trust.
There was 10 million liters of fuel made available at some point, which was not made available at the time because obviously it had to be brought in.
The attack this Gayo village, Keru, and the Takalafia village yesterday is one of the many attacks.
Radio Now, 95.3 FM Lagos. Beyond the news.
Every second and every minute, something new happens. The news brings.
People at a spot and angry mob decided to bomb.
Everyone wants to share it, but not everyone wants to dig deep. Now that's where we come in. We bring you the news and go beyond with in-depth conversations and analysis with stakeholders.
I honestly think that the federal government on its own part has broken.
If voters or more people want to be part of that decision-making process, they need to be part
GDP is not a good measure of development anyways. We are not there yet. We need to counter the narrative of the fact that their vote does not count. If their vote does not count.
We bring you the story within the story. And that's what makes us tick. We are Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos, and we go beyond the news.
Be a part of our online community on Facebook. Like our page on www.facebook.com/This Is Radio Now to join every conversation on air and get up-to-date news information on the go.
It's Independence Day, Nigeria. This October 1, join Zainab Balogun Olowu for a special Independence Day program. She'll be speaking with young Nigerians who will share their perspectives on current issues shaping our daily lives. Tune in from 4 p.m. on October 1 as Nigeria marks its 65th independence anniversary. Only here on Radio Now 95.3 FM, Lagos.
You are listening to Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos, and this is the big story. Independence Day is special, and we have been talking about Nigeria at 65 from the perspective of the youths. We have two guests in the studio, two virtually. We have the Lagos State University Student Union's President, Jody Adebobola. We also have the Law Students Association of Nigeria's president, that's Losan Blessing Adiogo. We have Abdusalam Sheriff Olayinka, coordinator Not Too Young to Run Hub, Lagos State College of Health Technology, LASCOET. And we also have Olao Nikbeku Nokimat, secretary, Not Too Young to Run Hub, LASCOET. Okay. And so for the second segment, really, we're talking about youths, politics, and governance. And let me begin with you, Noimot, right? And this was the reason for, not too young to run act, tongue twister there. And, you have that in your school now, that hub. And when that act was, actually put, it was celebrated as a breakthrough that, we get young persons, because people feel, it's just the old people, give the young ones a chance. We say they are the future of tomorrow, future leaders. When will they eventually lead, right? But do you think it has really opened the political space for the youths? in terms of politics?
Yes, the youth are now more involved in politics, but they are not allowed to lead, if I to put it that way. In politics, I feel like the elder politicians have the more grounds than the youth. There are a lot of youth who are contesting, but they are not able to get the position. So they are not able to lead or say how I was. Well, more of it, we have the elderlies on stage. We have the elderly representing with the youth, where it is not supposed to be so. Even last year, at the Independence Day conference, the president promised to make a youth conference for we the youth, but it's not still in action till date, and it's been a year plus.
Right. Okay. And so I'll take it to you because you're also part of, the North, you're the coordinator for that. So for you, especially having this hub, so also bring people, let people know that, yes, you can. So for the hub in your school, right? And is it just in your school? You also have...
We have in other schools.
In other schools. So what opportunities does this present for you?
Well, these hubs actually bring young people closer to governance. Because most of the time, when you ask young people about politics, they always say that it is the old people that are there, all those kind of things, that they don't give them voices, all those kind of stuff. But in this North Young's Run Hub, we actually educate young people that they can actually play their own impact too in politics. Politics is not just about decision making. It's not just about you have to participate. You have to put your whole body into it. Just like when you go out to vote, that's also part of governance. That's also part of decision making. It's also part of engaging in politics. When you go out to vote, when you select your own leader. So those are the kind of things. And when you talk about young people in politics, looking at this President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, he has actually appointed some young people into ministerial positions and advisory positions, such as Anatu Musawa. She's the special advisor on culture and entertainment economy. And we also have Zacchaeus Adedeji, who is also the executive chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service. He's actually very young for that position, because that's a very great position. That's a very big position for that man of his age. So I think the youth are being involved in decision making.
Yeah. And some persons will now say, what exactly, where do we classify youths? Because when we talk about Anatu Musawa, she's about 50. Some persons feel, okay, you have to be younger. But again, the Constitution has what it says about, those who are youths, right? But let me take it to Mr. Jody on that now. Do you think that the government is actually giving opportunities for the young people to participate in politics, to understand what governance really means? Or do you think they're being sidelined?
Okay, thank you very much. I believe that in recent years, we have had more youths, in decision-making positions. Take my school, for example. One of my predecessors, that's the 28th Lasusu president. I'm the 35th now, so he was the 28th, and currently is the SSA to Lagos State Governor on Student Affairs Matter. And there are other student union leaders from my school that I know of. That some of them are SSAs. We have some of them that are in different ministries. So I believe that there are opportunities for young people now in governance, but then it's not enough. I believe that we are still at the starting point where we, more young people are getting to these positions, but I feel like there should be more opportunities for them. So in that aspect, I believe the government is doing well in appointing young people, but I believe that there is still a lot more to be done. We still need to create a more inclusive governance in Nigeria. Thank you.
Yeah. And so you mentioned how, was it the 33rd president, SUG president, that you said, is now the SSA to the governor?
Yeah, the 27th or thereabouts. Yeah, 27th.
All right. So for persons, right, who wants to be in politics, talking about governance, what do you think they need to prepare themselves, with ahead, right? Or, okay, let me put it this way. What do you think they need to do to show that, yes, I'm actually ready to be in politics, to be in governance? Do you just sit down, on social media, doing hashtag this, hashtag that. Okay, the government is not doing well. Or what else do you need to do? So is it about, being SUG president before you could, get positions? Should that be, what it is? Or what do you expect that youths, actually do to show that, yes, we're actually really interested, so that, the other leaders who are far older don't think, they're just youths, that they're not actually really serious?
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to correct something. I'm not saying all SUG presidents eventually get appointments, but then I just made that as a reference that, okay, this is a notable person, like we have 2 or 3 of them. But I feel like the priority should be making impact. As a youth, you don't just wake up one day and decide that, oh, I want to be part of the decision makers in this country. What are you bringing to the table? Like, what do you have to offer? Okay, now let's take it from the grassroots. I started from the department level when I got to LASU. I was my department's PRO in 200 level. So while in that position, I was able to influence a lot of students. I was in charge of disseminating information, and I was there for them. I was doing programs, initiatives, free course registration, and a whole lot. Then when it was time for faculty election, I can tell you for a fact that so many students in my faculty were already rooting for me, even before I declared my aspiration to run for faculty election. Okay. That is to tell you that people are noticing all of these slightest things. Your actions, your inactions, they are noticing. And when the faculty election came, I decided to run for an executive position, which I won. Then while at the faculty level, I did a whole lot of programs. I shared a whole lot of incentives. I brought in investors from outside that came in, paid student school fees and all of that. So this propelled me when I decided to run for the SUG president in my school, because I had track record. There are things that people could look back on, even lecturers, even school management, I had many references. People saying, oh, he did this, he did that. So it's really worked well for me. Now I'm speaking from my own perspective.
Yeah.
So it really worked well for me. And now, becoming the SUG president was not easy. I had 5 opponents. So I believe I was doing something right for the students to believe that, oh, this is the person we want. This is the person that can do it. And, getting here, I have done a whole lot, ranging from building sitting arenas in my school, Faculty of Education, Faculty of Management Science. My administration has been able to build sitting arenas for these faculties. Moving on, while I was campaigning, I made mention of something that we need to move to digitalized classroom. Because when you go to advanced country, you notice that they are not always writing with all these. They have devices in the classrooms. So I decided that LASU has gotten to a stage where we are supposed to have digital screen boards in our classrooms. When we made inquiries about the cost of these things, it's about 8 million, 10 million naira. So how can we do this? I have to sit down with my executives, and we started reaching out to people, started reaching out to organizations and all of that. And by the grace of God, we were able to facilitate this digital screen board in school. Apart from that, our administration has done billboards in school, for information dissemination and a whole lot of things. We even did solar. And now, the point I'm trying to drive out of all of this is that there is a track record. I believe young people should have track record. Do something. You don't have to be in position before you even make impact. You can volunteer for organizations, go to seminars, try meeting with all of these people and let them know what you can offer. I believe the more you have things to offer, the more opportunities will find you. So when you are out there trying your best, making impact, changing people's life, opportunity will always come because the people know what they are doing. They know what they are seeing. And when it comes to opportunity, they believe, oh, this is the person that can do it. Yeah, so that is my own belief is that as a young person, you have to make impact first. When you make impact, then you seek the right connections. Meet people that are already in the position that you want to be. Leverage from them, learn from them, seek mentorship. And from there, I believe opportunity will come. Thank you.
All right. You just dished out, advice there because, what people think is, okay, at the level of school, it's easy to rally around. Maybe you have friends, the friends rally for you, in other departments, you're able to get that position. And just like you said, especially, if you have started early, so people get to know you. But graduating from school, it's another ball game entirely, and getting into politics, right? You're in a political party, but how easy easy is it for you, to get those positions, maybe point of local government chairman, or a position, or even in governance? So let me take it to Ms. Blessing on this, because you're the first female Lausanne president, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Blessing, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. No, you're not wrong, please.
Okay. So yeah, well done on that. And so for you,
thank you.
Yeah, for you, right? Do you think that the youths are actually serious about leadership positions? Because what people say, and I'm not saying leadership positions in school, so let's talk about politics, right? Political participation, governance. Because some persons feel like even when it comes to time of election, you see the youths online saying, oh, vote for this person, vote for this person. But when it comes to participation, actually voting, some of them stay away, right? And so this, are you actually ready, right? And, that's one step to show that, yes, this is who we want. This is the person that we're actually, putting in there. And when it comes to unity as well, do you think that students, youths, if, we'll put it that way, let's just talk about youths, they are united enough to shape a new political culture? Because we continue to complain about, maybe the older generations, they're not doing enough. But do you think if they're actually giving these positions in government, political participation, they'll be able to actually, change something, or, make things positive at the end of the day? Or you think at the end of the day, we'll still go back to the same thing that we're talking about, the older generation?
All of these things are entangled into the other. First of all, what do we actually call youths? Who are the people we address as youths? Because now I hear people say we have youth holding a certain position, and I look for the person's age and I'm seeing age 55, 56 or 60, and that is youth. So first of all, what exactly are we saying is youth? If we are talking about youth in politics, we are talking about the younger generation like ourselves. And if I'm going to be very honest, young people are active online and on the streets, but they are not truly involved in leadership decisions. Why is this so? Because a lot of controversies are surrounding whatever has to pertain with politics. And there are a lot of influential decisions. As a youth, I may want to go for A because I know A is right. But because maybe my oga or somebody that maybe follows me tells me, Blessing, just go for C, nothing will happen. I would, because he has influenced my decision, I would deviate from A to C. So like I said, it is very, it's surrounded by a lot of controversies. So yet we have numbers, we have energies, we have innovations to change this. So honestly, if you ask me, youths are still sidelined in governance. We are vocal, we care. But when it comes to decision making, we are not always given a seat in the table. Most times, although sometimes it happens, because most of these people feel like, what does the youth have to say? Now, if you ask how many youth are in a particular political setting, actual youth, you may not be able to find up to 3 there. You would see all these old people that are supposed. There are some certain positions that are held even in the student field or maybe politically, that a young and vibrant person is supposed to be holding that position, and you hear that somebody of 45 years old is holding that position. How then do you expect something to come out from that position? So when we are talking about it boils down to start from what exactly is youth. So youth involvement should not be for photo ops or campaign sessions. It should be constant. People only call the youth when they want campaign. I want to, let's say for instance, I'm holding a very high rank position, maybe somewhere politically in the nation, and I want the youth. I'm wanting the youth most times, please, I stand to be corrected, but most times I'm wanting the youth for campaign sessions only. But whatever influence decision making, their youths are mostly sidelined. The only thing needed from the youths are results. How can this person emerge? Who can you talk to? How can you gather how can you form a structure? How can you gather 20 people to ensure that this person, that is it. But decision making, letting the youth bring in their critical thoughts is not always acceptable.
Okay.
Because
all right, but Blessed, let me interrupt you there. So who do you think is at fault in this? You say, okay, they want to participate, but they are not allowed to participate. Do you think the youths are ready to participate? And when you talk about political parties, do you see them registered? Because, when you say, okay, you want to be, because not everything is about appointment, right? It's also just like, running for elective positions in the university. You start to campaign, you do all of those things. So when it comes to, political parties, are these youths a member of political parties to know that, okay, from here, I'll start contesting, I'll keep trying, I get my name known so that, okay, maybe government on their own part, the leaders can say, okay, we can even appoint you to this position or not. Or do you think the government, they are not just even interested? And so when we talk about youth, right, the Minister of Youth, he's 36, so maybe we'll still say he's a youth. And that's why when Abdusalam said, I said Anatu Musawa is 50. And so if we look at the National Youth Policy 2019, you're called a youth if you're 18 to 29. For INEC, they do 18 to 35, and I think there's that of the African Youth Charter, which is 18 to 35. This is what should be called youth, but sometimes they still say the ones at 40 are youth. So do you think the problem is with the youths themselves trying to get into the position, trying to get ready, prepare for them for these positions, or it's about the government not actually caring and carrying the youths along?
Vice versa, ma. It's coming from the two parties.
Okay.
If you ask me, because most times the youths themselves don't want to actually get to that point. All they want to do is to participate where they can and then drop the mic and leave the stage. Now, on the other hand, with the government, sometimes they maybe don't give room to some youths because they feel like they don't have what it takes to bring to the table yet because of their level of experience.
Okay. All right. And so this comes with mentorship, and maybe this is where the not too young to run hub also comes in. So I'll take you back to Noimot on this, right? Because again, like you said, you have to position yourself as a not too young to run hub. How do you also ensure that, people can be a part of governance? Some persons are not ready. They can go on social media, protest and all of those things. But why do you draw the line between activism, online and actually participating in governance, and political participation? So how do you think the voices of the youths can be heard?
Social media is like a weapon for the youth. If you are very active on social media, I feel like there is nothing you cannot do with it. If you can talk through your social media, there are certain people that it gets to, and this thing has gone really, really far. Be involved in your communities too. The not too young to run up provides each political zone, each voting unit, different people to stay there. You just go there, wear a cloth, and just observe. Okay. See things that are going on around you, and then you will know, next year I want to be here, not as a voter, but as a candidate. If you are outside, if you are involved, you will know that you want to be there, not just seated at home. We should not just come on social media, use hashtags, and then just go off the radar like that.
Okay, and I'll take it to Mr. Abdusalam on that as well. So for you, how do you also ensure that people participate in governance? Have you been able to even meet the leaders? Let's talk about in Lagos. Have you been able to meet your local? So we say not too young to run. This is where, you should be able to meet, the leaders. There's also that mentorship as well, right? So does that provide you those opportunities?
Yeah, sure. Being a coordinator for the Not Young to Run hub in my school, I've been able to meet some few leaders. And these leaders, I don't think they are encouraging us to participate in politics. I will not mention name. I met one of my community leader, I think before election in 2023. Before election, yes. He actually promised us something. He said he was going to create a town hall for us, whereas we'll be able to gather students, because we have lots of students in Yaba community. We have Unilag, we have Yaba Tech, we have Last Quest. He said where we can be able to come together and give the government our own view, what they can do to help us. Till now, from 2 years ago, we've not heard from him since he has entered office. So I don't think the government is actually encouraging us to participate. They are not letting us.
Have you tried to push? Okay, you said you're going to see us. Have you now tried again to reach out?
Sure, we tried again to reach out, but we are not getting any feedback. There was even a time we hosted the program, we wanted to host him. He actually sent a representative to us. Imagine, we are not able to speak to him. We have been contacting the representative that's how far about, but no feedback yet. So I don't think the governments are actually encouraging us. And for we the youths, we need to put ourselves out there for people to see us. If people are not seeing us, there's no way we can be in offices. If people are not seeing us doing anything for our communities, if we are just ranting on social media sometimes, just like X now, we don't usually post our faces on X. It's just chatting, sending messages. People can say that this person can be can be a political activist. But if they don't see your face out there, they can't know who you are. They won't know your name. So we need to put ourselves out there too.
Okay, and I'll take you back to Mr. Jody on this now. Noimat also mentioned this earlier about the Youth Confab, the National Youth Conference. And this happened last year during Independence when the president said, don't worry, we'll have youths come together, let them talk about their problems, challenges, because they are the future leaders of tomorrow. So, that committee will come up with recommendations and this will be implemented. 1 year later, I think in March, they inaugurated the committee, but that has not happened. So do you think that the government, right, and let's talk about the president because he said that, do you think they're really taking the youth seriously? Because we remember, right, before that happened, there was the Fearless October protest because youth came out. Nigerians came out to protest about, the situation, the cost of living. Before that, there was End Bad Governance. And so he had to address the youths as well. But since then, 1 year later, it's another Independence Day. No, we have not seen that youth conference happen. So do you think they're actually taking, the complaints about the youths very seriously?
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to state something here that as a young person in Nigeria, getting into politics is not easy. Don't let us deceive ourselves that, the youth are not participating, the youth are not ready. There are thousands of youth that are ready to take on these leadership positions, but it's not easy to even get there. See, in Nigeria politics, there's something called structure. Yeah, even if you are going for a position as low as a councillor, sometimes if you don't have a structure, if you don't belong to a structure in Nigeria, you are going nowhere. So now, take for example, as a young person, you are just coming out, no political party, nothing. You just want to get started. Definitely, you'll be encouraged to join a political party first. I think that's the first step here. Belongs to a political party where you can now start aspiring for position. But the moment, I'm speaking from experience now, the moment you step into the political party and, tries to join, that is when you know that there are people that are in their 40s, in their 50s, who are already in line for that thing that you, as a young person in your 20s, that you want to go for. There are people that have been promised 7 years ago, 6 years ago, 10 years ago. Now, don't worry, you are the next in line. You are this, you are that. And, you just find out that you are in.
Mr. Jody, can you hear me?
In power. It will be very hard for you to get there. That is one thing. And what does loyalty means to these people in power? Loyalty means not speaking against them, even when they are wrong. Seeing them doing wrong and, still praising them online. And another thing is that for some of these political leaders, they already have youth, people of our age that they are already grooming. And I would not lie to you, these people are even worse than people that are currently there, because now they are just going there with the mentality. And I think this also applies to Nigeria parents. People should stop having this mentality that once you get to a political position, it's an opportunity for you to get rich. It's an opportunity for you to, change your family life and all of that. No, that is one major reason why we keep getting it wrong. Leadership position should be a position where you are going to make impact, not for you to get rich, not for you to enrich yourself. So I feel like youth also, we should change their mentality, because there's something that once money is not involved in something, you find out that majority of youth are not even interested. Once there's no quick cash. And okay, before I even became the president of Lasusu, when I was in 100 level back in Aja, so I used to follow this movement. I will not mention the movement's name. I used to follow them. It's more like a youth movement where we go out, talk to politicians, aspire for things. And what made me left this particular movement was when I realized that the people that were even calling our leaders in that movement, the people that we are expecting them to go and face the government, they are, once we get to these offices, then they will ask one question, that who is your leader? Your leader should come in, either one or two people, the rest should stay outside. I kid you not, the moment they go into that office, coming out, the passion that we had when we are going is already dead while they are coming out, because I don't know, but I feel like it's not about personal gain. When somebody grow up in poverty, like the majority of young Nigerians are right now, once you see a small opportunity, you see, oh, I must not lose this. This is a life-changing opportunity, forgetting that standing on your policy can actually impact thousands, if not millions of people. So we need to understand the basic that Nigerian politics is full of structure. And if you don't belong to a structure, it will be hard for you to even get anywhere.
Okay.
And how do you...
Mr. Jody, because of time, and we have to go to the next segment, let me take Blessing's thoughts on this as well. And that's why I also mentioned that you think that, well, at the end, is Blessing there? Okay, we'll try to reconnect with Blessing. And that's why, I also mentioned, do you think if youths are in these positions, if they have more government positions, do you think that things will actually change? Because sometimes you say you already know the person, you can already tell. So you have people in positions, for instance, you have your SUG president, you have your, what do we call it? Is it class rep in school, right? Where you expect that, okay, they're fighting for your rights, but you feel like, okay, this one's are even closer to the teachers and don't even care. So you're imagining, so if you're in an elective position, is this the same way that you're also going to run? So is it as a result of what they have seen, from the past leaders? Is it that all of the activism, youth saying, oh, want to do better, they don't actually really want to do better? Or does it depend on your personality?
Thank you very much. I would like you to rephrase that question, please. I don't think I got it right.
Okay, so do you think that if we have, more youths in government, do you think that anything will change? Do you think governance will be better?
Definitely, it will be better. I strongly believe it will be better, because young people understand young people better. I, as a 20-something-year-old male living in Lagos, I understand people within my age range better. I know the opportunities that young people need. I know the challenges they are facing. So I believe that young people will be able to solve young people's problem better. And the starting point to solving all of this problem is, number one, our curriculum. In Nigerian schools, our curriculum and the job markets, they are not entirely, they are two different things. That's
right. Mr. John, let's not jump into that, because we're coming to that when it comes to the state of the nation when we talk about education. But, let's go on a quick break. And so maybe we'll start with Blessing when we come back from that. But let's go on a quick break, and we would be right back.
For your daily dose of the news, information, and relaxing fun, stay glued to Radio Now 95.3 FM. All day, every day. We are Radio Now 95.3 FM, Lagos.
Connect with us now via our social media channels. Facebook.com/RadioNow953FM.
We're on Twitter too. Connect with us there and get involved.
At Radio Now 953FM. 953FM. Like what we do? Share it on your socials and tell everyone.
Want to see some more of us? Head over and meet us on Instagram
at Radio Now 953FM. Get in touch. We'd love to hear from you.
Be a part of our online community on Facebook. Like our page on www.facebook.com/This is Radio Now to join every conversation on air and get up-to-date news information on the go.
Technology is constantly evolving, and artificial intelligence is powering everything around us.
So for nations to continue to survive in the world where artificial intelligence is now everywhere around us, we must participate in governance structure in terms of how it is managed.
At Radio Now 95.3 FM, we're telling the story of the evolution of technology like nobody else can. Now that's another reason to listen to us.
It's Independence Day, Nigeria. This October 1, join Zainab Balogun Olowu for a special Independence Day program. She'll be speaking with young Nigerians who will share their perspectives on current issues shaping our daily lives. Tune in from 4 p.m. on October 1 as Nigeria marks its 65th independence anniversary. Only here on Radio Now 95.3 FM, Lagos.
This is still the Independence Day special on the big story this evening. If you're just joining us, we're taking a look at Nigeria at 65 and from the perspective of the youth. So yes, there has been 2 segments reflecting on independence, talking about youth, politics and governance. And right now we are delving into the state of the nation, looking at the economy, looking at education, health, opportunities, for the youths, for Nigerians in general, but because being a youth, you're also a Nigerian. And we have 4 guests on the program: the Lagos State University Students Union President, Jody Adebobola. We also have the President of LOSAN, that's the Law Students Association of Nigeria, Blessing Adeogo. We have Abdusalam Sheriff Olayinka, Coordinator, Not Too Young to Run Hub, Lagos State College of Health Technology, LASCOET, and Olaonikbeko Nohimat, Secretary, Not Too Young to Run Hub, LASCOET. So let's begin with Blessing on this now, talking about the state of the economy. But let's start with education for you, right? Because some persons say, at the end of the day, is education, really that ladder to success? Or, some persons say, education is a scam. It doesn't really meet with realities. But what's your thoughts? Do you think education is still that ladder to success? Or do you think, again, maybe it has failed to prepare young Nigerians for today's reality, for, the real thing?
Education is not a scam. Education is very paramount so long you are living, because the day you stop to learn, that's the day you die. Now, education sector, or let's say structure in Nigeria, is very much underfunded, with things like frequent strikes, poor infrastructure. But right now, what I would say is a lot of young people feel very stuck. And if you ask me why, I would say because people go to school, they graduate, but there is no job. I've had to go enter a series of boats where the person driving me is a lawyer. Or maybe I go somewhere and the person attending to me, he maybe studied business admin, or maybe studied a very reasonable course in the country. And then our education system needs serious reform. It should prepare us for real world skills. Originally, it's supposed to be how that if you don't go to school, you should be pinned. But these days now, if people don't go to school and they know a particular skill, God forbid that they are paid, because they know that they may even go to that school and end up not even getting jobs. It's not bad. Some people, they've taken the decision upon themselves not to even go to school, because they feel like, how is it that thousands of lawyers are called to bar every year? Imagine how many lawyers are called to bar in 10 years. So how many lawyers do we expect to have in Nigeria? So how many work is on ground? How many people want case to be judged? So as whatever you are doing, whatever course you're studying, the goal or the trick is to find something that distincts you out of every other person. So the education, as for me, needs a little bit of more reform. How that people don't just go to school, come out and have nothing doing. There should be more job opportunities. But aside that, I thought to chip in that whatsoever it is, a layman will say bad as a bad. You should have something very distinct that stands you out, so that if at all the job doesn't come, that thing that is distinct will help you in other sectors.
All right. Thank you so much, Blessing. I'll take it to okay, don't let me take it to Noimo, so we don't have two female. Let me take it to Abdul Salam. So on this now, do you think the government is doing enough when it comes to education?
When it comes to education, I don't think the government is doing enough at all. Or maybe the government is doing enough and it's not getting to the grassroots.
Right.
You can't say, because in our budget, in our last budget, I saw more allocations to education, but I don't think it's getting to us. The only thing I'm seeing is beautiful building, colorful building. I'm not seeing the equipments. Just like me now, I came to Lagos State College of Health to study medical laboratory technician. So on the course of my study, I feel like we are not doing enough practical. It is only when exam is approaching that we try to rush into practical just for us to pass examination. You get, so because of this, I see that they are not preparing us enough. They are not preparing us enough for the practical aspects. So I have to diversify. I will tell Comrade Adibobola, you'll be welcoming me to your school very soon, because I'm changing my course of study, because I think they are not equipping us enough in our school when it comes to practical. So I'm diversifying from courses that actually involves practical to courses that I can actually use to take. Whereas if I know that I have my laptop, I have everything I need when it comes to tech. But in aspects of medical, I don't think the government is trying enough for the medical schools, because we don't even have enough equipment to carry out things in our school.
And so that it boils down to, is it, you talked about infrastructure, and it comes to again, we say segregation, where some persons feel it's only when you've gone to a university, and so they see that person in a university as someone higher than someone who probably went to a college of technology, who went to a polytechnic, let me put it that way. Do you also think there is that issue as to how, there's pressure on education, and how, it seems like, it's when you go to the university that, yes, you have actually done something, when really, you have the polytechnics where you could go to what do we call the teaching college now? The College of Education. You want to be a teacher, you should be proud of going to, school. It shouldn't be that, because you think the person scored a low jam mark, that's why they went there, and at the end of the day. So do you think there's also that, will I put it as stigmatization? Stereotype.
Well, I won't call it that, because there are some people, just like me, before I got admission into the College of Health, actually I had admission in the university, but it was not my choice of study. Okay. So I just declined the admission, and I went to, let me start from somewhere, since I'm going into medical, and we have medical college. Okay. So I had to go to medical college just to start to build my foundation. But on the course of my study, I saw that we are not equipped enough in this school. So why wasting my time in this field? Let me diversify to another field. So I think the government is not putting enough resources to maybe College of Education. I don't know how last week looks like in terms of medical laboratory course. I don't know how last will look like. I don't know how Unilag will look like. But in Lagos State College of Health, I don't think we have enough infrastructure to.
Okay. Yeah. So now you're no more doing medicals. You now want to go into technology where you know that you have your laptop.
Yes.
Amazing. I'll take it to Noimot on this. What are the challenges in the education sector? What do you see?
The educational sector is underfunded. A lot of times we hear public universities, and you expect that they're going to be paying lesser than other institutions. But when you ask for their school fees, they are paying up to 250. For a child that is or her parents are civil servants, that money is huge. It's still huge for them. And aside that, the lecturers collect from here, from there, and is a lot for them to pay. And when you ask the school authorities, they are like, what the government give them is not enough. But the government always say they give enough. And then they say they don't pay the staffs enough money for them to work. So some lecturers will come to class and be like, they don't have transport to go back home, and then you have to contribute to rally around and then pay them, because you'll be hearing that they've not been paid for the last 6 months of job. And then you're like, why am I now coming to school? I'm going to pay for my lecturer's transport. I'm going to pay a lot for school fees, and I'm going to do this and that. The educational sector is a lot underfunded, and it's not supposed to be so.
All right. Let me take it to Mr. Jody on this now. What do you think about the quality of education? Because, you were talking about the curriculum, earlier. And, I also asked if you think, I think that I asked Blessing on this. If you think, our schools fail to prepare young people for today's reality. And when I talk about, today's reality is as to, what Abdul Salam mentioned. And so For instance, you're talking about agriculture, and you're not really doing practical. They're teaching you theory for what you should be doing practical. And so that's why I talk about today's reality. So what do you think about the quality of education?
Thank you very much for your question. And to the comrade that said you'll be coming to LASU, we are expecting you. We are LASU, we are the greatest.
Is it better?
So
do you have infrastructure? Because that's why he's leaving LASCOET to come to LASU.
We have more than enough. Just come to LASU, we are the greatest.
Okay, go ahead.
So as I was saying earlier, there is a huge gap and mismatch between current level of education in Nigeria, curriculum, and the job market. And that is why you see some people saying, oh, school is a scam, school is this, school is that. Because at the end of the day, many graduates leave school without the skills that employers need. The world is moving so fast now. We have AI that's even taking over so many people's jobs. And if you are not well equipped for the job market currently, there is no chance for you. And that is when you see people that are not even educated, that are later employing people that are educated, because it's not because school is a scam, but because the job market is quite tight already. So there is, according to the budget for this year, I think the government budgeted about 3.5 trillion for education budget. Now, 3.5 trillion is a huge amount of money, yeah? But then, we cannot say for sure that this money is even getting to the grassroots. There are people that I call middleman. Now, from the presidency down to the schools, who are those that are in the middle? Who are those that these funds are passing through to the grassroots? Because these people are the ones that we need to hold more and more accountable. And when I met with the Minister of Education recently, he came to our school for convocation ceremony. So while I was speaking to him, I made something clear that, sir, if you really want to make a change, the first thing you need to tackle is change of curriculum. Our curriculum in school needs to tally with the job demand that are out there. Because at the end of the day, I have many graduates from my school that, okay, after they are done with their education, they now go and start learning tech skills. After spending 4 years, 5 years, 6 years in the university, they graduate and start learning tech skills because they know that the certificate we currently have, there is limited opportunity for it. So the government should increase.
Do you think that's as a result? Sorry, Jody. Do you think that's as a result of infrastructure? They're not having enough to actually teach them technology. Do you think about if it's the quality of the teachers, right? Because there are sometimes that you have a teacher teach you mathematics and you are lost, whereas you have someone else teach you and you understand. So do you think again it's about the quality of teachers, or is it really about the infrastructure?
Number one, it's about the curriculum, because the teachers you are talking about, they are following the curriculum that is outlined to them, that okay, this is the curriculum, so you just go into the curriculum, then draft out your topics and all of that. There needs to be a change in our curriculum, first of all. Like, we need to incorporate all of these new age tech skills in our curriculum, because we can't have millions of people graduating studying zoology, microbiology, a whole lot of, I don't want to start mentioning courses, but there are a whole lot of courses that when you get out there, you realize that there are limited opportunities for you. Okay, now for some, I have a friend that studied fishery, and currently is working in the bank, whereas you have people that did finance, did accounting. Nigeria has gotten to a stage where you now need connection to even get a decent job, even if you are educated. And that is the scariest part of it, because if you go to developed countries, the moment you have a certain level of degree, certain level of education, there are opportunities for you. But here in Nigeria, trust me, you can even have a master's and still be jobless if you don't know what you are doing. So this is something that needs urgent attention. What is going on? We keep producing graduates every year. What are these graduates doing? We have, it's not even something unusual now to see a graduate now opening a POS shop, because that is one of the easiest things they can easily lay their hands on. Because for somebody that is in school for 4-5 years, there's no skills, there's nothing depending on that education. Coming out and you see that, somebody that did not even go to school is the one that is now employing you. And this fast is discouraging a lot of young people from pursuing their educational career. And now let's look at social media again. Social media is a huge discouragement for people when it comes to education, because now you see people that are in a building, a Big Brother house, coming out with 120 million, coming out with endorsement deal, while they are just there, doing basically nothing, in my own opinion, entertaining people. And whereas we have people that are doing masters, that are reading day and night with nothing to show for it. Now, as a young person, you would want to go towards the path of people that are making it earlier. So that is why there needs to be more funding in the educational sector, more infrastructure, and most importantly, the curriculum must be in line with the current job demand in Nigeria. And as for the presidency, as for the government, they need to create more jobs, more opportunities for youth. Thank you.
All right. Because I remember, when the president was giving his speech and he went back to 1960 and now and talked about how we had just 120 schools, secondary schools, at the time, and talked about the population and how many we have now. I think he said we have 23,000 schools right now as of 2024. Talked about the colleges of education, universities. And, the question is it about the number of schools or is it about the quality? He's saying we're doing better. ASU some days ago still gave the federal government a 14-day ultimatum, right? On these demands of 2009, MOU negotiations, unpaid allowances, and same thing with the health sector. Sometimes we see issues like this. But let's leave education. Let me take you to Blessing on this, right? So Blessing, let's talk about the cost of living and, the state of the economy. How is that for you? And you could also speak to you could also relate to people in your school. You're the president, you probably know some of the things being said. Do we have Blessing? Blessing has dropped off. Okay, so let's take it to Noimot on this now. How is it for you? Cost of living in the country, the state of the economy, how do you think that is?
The cost of living is very on the high side. Everybody can feel it. Prices keep increasing, transportation, school fees, but then the income stays the same. How do you expect me to use an income that I've been using to get 10 crates of egg, which stays the same, but the egg increases, to still get it during this time? So it's harder for parents to make do with this. They have more than one children. They have 3, they have 4, and they need to be educated too. So it's making the kids themselves do things that they normally don't do. Some people resort to stealing. Some people try to make ends meet while leaving education alone. Oh, let me assist my mother. Let me just work and live. So it's tackling with each other. It's not balancing.
Naima said it's not balancing. It's not balance. Go balance. Let's take it to Abdul Salam on this now, because the government has constantly talked about hope, renewed hope. There'll be light at the end of the tunnel. Do you think that students are feeling this? Are you feeling it?
I don't think the students are feeling it at all, because currently I like to relate to real life. So currently in my school we are having a protest for high increase, because last year's school fees is not the same as this session. Last session school fees is not the same. It has increased by 50%. As in how? I mean
150%.
150. How much was it before?
83.
And it's how much now?
Currently 100 and something.
117.
100 and something.
100 and something. Okay. I don't think that's still up to 150%, but if there's that increment, it's a Lagos State school. Was there a reason for the increment?
There was no reason given, was it?
No.
There was no reason. We just saw it on the school portal that the school fees has been increased. There was no reason behind this or anything. So this kind of thing can cause a student to drop out of school. Imagine your parents still struggling to look for your last session school fees, and now you are coming to resume another session. You are seeing this huge amount of money. Won't you be pushed to drop out of school? So this is not even encouraging at all. That's why we have a lot of not only in tertiary education, even in secondary schools, we have lots of out of school students. We have millions, most especially in the northern parts of Nigeria. We have lots of out of school students. So I don't think it's encouraging at all. The economy is encouraging at all. Well, the president said in his speech that we should hope for the best, that he actually sympathized with us for this period of hardship. I even like the fact that he understands that we are going through a lot of hardship. And he said we should hope for a renewed hope. And we are hoping for that very soon.
Okay, and some persons have come to say this is what he says in his speech, and he has talked about how the economy has improved. But you also talked about the school fees. But what about other aspects of living? Because this is just one aspect. There's the part of where you still have to buy textbooks, you still have to feed, there's still transportation.
Sure. We still have to buy a lot of things, just like students that are staying away from their home.
Okay.
They have to pay their school, their rent. They have to pay for food. They have to pay for clothing and a lot of expenses. Imagine adding that to your school fees. That is going to about, for a government's own school, spending like almost 1 million per year. Imagine, how do you expect an average Nigerian home, a minimum wage earner, to be paying that? That's why we have students going into fraud, having students doing jobs that they are not supposed to be doing, because this hardship is too much. So I don't think the economy is favoring the students at all, especially the youth in general.
Okay, I'll take you to Mr. Jody on this again, being the LASU president. And you said how the students feel, because you could also hear from them. So if you could also tell us how students are coping, how is the cost of living affecting students in school. He also talked about how this is a Lagos State school and it has increased, but the president has talked about how there is NEL fund. People could tap into that for loans and the rest of it. So is that also happening in LASU? How far has that gone, and is that what people should now be looking to, getting loans, or do you think things need to be better rather than loans? Your thoughts?
Thank you very much. The cost of living in Nigeria, we all understand what is going on. But now, speaking from students' perspective, really harder. Like, it's really, 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 really harder. Because you have students who, some of them don't even have parents anymore. Some of them only have a single parent, either their mom or their dad, and they have siblings. So it's really, really hard. That's why you see students doing a whole lot of manual jobs here and there. As at yesterday evening, I was still at a police station to bail one of my students. And what did he do wrong? After leaving the campus, he usually meets with somebody that has a tricycle, so that he can ride the tricycle to make little money in the evening time. And while he was doing that, the policemen on the road just stopped him, offloaded his passengers, because they were just trying to extort him and all of that. And I was so pissed off when I go to that station, because this is a guy that does not have parent anymore. He no father, no mother. He even came all the way from Enugu State to come and school in Lagos. And now, here he is at the police station without a single crime, because he's just trying to make ends meet. So these are some of the challenges that, students go through. Things are really, 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 really hard for students on campus, because the economy is hard. Foodstuffs are fucking expensive. That is even one of the things that gets me angry.
I know you want to talk about the intensity, but we could use, the choice of words.
Yeah, I get that. Thank you. Things are so hard. Foodstuffs are expensive. Cost of living. In fact, we the student, we had a meeting with some landlords. I think that was 3 weeks ago or thereabouts, because the way they keep increasing this rent is getting out of hand. And when there are no how can I put it? The government is not really putting much in place to checkmate these landlords on how they increase their rents and all of that. So I feel like the student community are going through a lot, but by the grace of God, we keep pushing forward. Everybody is optimistic that things is going to get better, and they keep striving. But I can tell you for a fact that students are hardworking. They are not lazy. So many students, including myself, we have to leave school and still find another extra job to do, just to put a little income in our pockets, because for most of us, we cannot even depend on our parents anymore. So it's a whole lot. And as the student union body, we try to do a lot to support our student community in terms of incentives, little foodstuffs here and there, completion of their school fees. And we even reach out to people on their behalf to support our student community. So we are trying our best. But then, majority of these problems are not something that we can solve on our own. They are national problems that involves the presidency, private sectors, and all of that to come together to solve. So the cost of living is high, but then we are trying our best to keep living.
And you talked about that. Students are already looking for alternatives to make money. People are creating opportunities, right? And so maybe when we'll come to that on the last segment, nation building, because people. Were you the one, or maybe it was Blessing that talked about unemployment situation? So you're done with school, you're not probably able to get a job, or some persons are not even really paid, they're not well paid. And now we're seeing the Jackpot syndrome of people jackpotting and leaving the country. But quickly, if you could touch on NEL Fund, how is that going in your school?
NEL Fund is a very commendable one from the current presidency. It's a very good initiative, and I know many of our students that are currently benefiting from NEL Fund. In fact, some of them even get upkeeps monthly from NEL Fund. Though there are some people that apply and sometimes they don't receive the money, but I can say for a fact that I know a reasonable number of students that have gotten NEL Fund to pay their school fees and even give them monthly upkeep. So that's all I can say. NEL Fund is doing well. It's doing well to a big extent.
All right, thank you so much. We have to go on a break, and we'll be right back for the last segment of the show. This is still the Independence Day special. Let's take some messages, and we'll be right back.
Since 1894, we've witnessed the evolution of a nation and proudly partner with its people on their path to prosperity. From the ink-stained ledgers to fast transactions, First Bank has consistently adapted, embracing innovation and making giant strides across the globe. It's not just about banking, it's about enabling your success, generation after generation. Our legacy define the past, shape the present, and will still be fostering financial security and stability for future generations. We're helping to create a future where the possibilities and where the world looks up to Africa. Let's awaken the giant in you. You first. First Bank.
Grand Bell International na the shipping solution company where they target to meet your need. After their incorporation for New York in 2002, Grand Bell don't grow so them don't open office and small companies for Nigeria and other parts of Africa. Houston, Texas for USA and Europe. Them they handle shipment worldwide. Them go summer you orishirishi shipping services for plenty items where include air freight, ocean freight, 20 or 40-foot containers, trucking, warehousing, customs clearing, express services, consolidation and imports, plus including pickups and delivery to your domot. Them full ground for Lagos for number 21 Toyin Street, Ikeja. And you fit call them on 080-3513-7916. You even fit email them for info2@grandbellinternational.com and them tanda for Instagram @grandbellinternational, INC @grandbell. Yeah, satisfaction, they important to us.
We are Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos.
All right, this is still Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. I am Zainab Balogun-Olu, and this is still the Independence Day special. We'll start to take your calls. Nigeria at 65. Is this the nation that we, dreamt of? And, we also have guests in the studio. Like I said, we've been taking a look at this from the perspective of the youths. And so if you also have comments, right, contributions, feel free to do that. Okay, let's take the calls, then we'll come back to the guests. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Zara.
Mr. Paul, welcome to the Independence Day special. How are you doing?
We are just 65. Nothing like independence. Same area we're independent. As a country that's 65 years. Our independent is economy, name it, electricity. So I don't get it because this country is not a lasting stock. Look at the country we started with, Singapore, even we're ahead of them. Talk about Brazil. Where are they today? Where is Nigeria? We're only talking about politics. I continue. I will not say we elect. People continue to manipulate into office using what they have or what they to get themselves into power. They are having what you call election or democracy, where people are pouring themselves. That democracy.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Paul. 1 minute. Let's try to stick to 1 minute. 0913 5000 953. You can send a WhatsApp message to 0809 682 2595 Nigeria at 65. How far have we come? Is this the nation that we dreamt of? Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Good evening. Is that Peter Osifo?
Good evening, Zainab. Happy Independence Anniversary.
I wish you the same.
Okay. I also greet your guest.
Okay.
Hello?
Can hear you.
Yes. As we can see, we are 5 years old today as Nigerians. So we thank God for that. It is very good that Nigerians are seeing these days, people that are alive. We thank God for being alive. But Nigeria can still do better. You understand? If only our leaders can listen to us and then cut down the cost of governance. Cost of governance is the issue, the main problem. If people can food on their table, take at least 3 square meals a day, and they're able to go to work, and the value of the naira is seriously okay, better than what it is now.
Right.
Who will be very happy? You understand? But the cost of living is so high. But we still believe that things will be okay, and then we should be prayerful. Because an American citizen wakes up early in the morning, the first thing he says is, God bless America. So we should imbibe that culture by saying, God bless Nigeria. Every morning we should pray for our leaders. But our leaders will also look at us and not take us for granted.
All right.
I think that many people, Nigerians, are being taken for granted. Maybe they are listening, the leaders think that we are docile and we cannot do anything.
All right.
But let them know that the revolution, is not planned. It can spark up continuously from every angle, any angle.
All right, thank you so much, Peter Osifo. So that we could take as many calls as possible. 0913 5000 953. Okay, let's take this call. Then I'll play the president's speech so we could react. Hello, good evening.
Zainab, this is Chris from Satellite.
Chris, it's great to have you. Happy Independence Day.
There's nothing like that. Just 65 years.
So you're saying we should remove the happy. There's nothing to be happy about.
Nothing.
Really?
Who wrote that speech for the president? It's a shame. A sham. For him to mention we were having 20 schools now, the 29,000 schools. Where are the schools? Are their children schooling here? Are those schools equipped? It's a shame for him to even mention Zigiwe, Radwana. If those people are around, they will even beat him well to save. Is it the country that we left for you? If those people were to be coming out from the grave, they will even beat him, make he die. Is it the country that they fought for? They would say, if a day can see what is happening in this world, they will say, is it the country that we fought for? Is it the country that Tinubu is messing up like this?
What you're saying, Tinubu, so we're talking about 65 years, right? And Tinubu just ruled for 2 years.
Who is the president today?
Yeah, but are we saying is the problem now that Nigeria has not, because you're saying, well, there's nothing to be happy about, but there are people who have been in government all the while, being president. So should he be the one to take the bulk of the blame?
He came to office to correct the wrongs of the past. Abi? If not, so he wouldn't have come. He said when he come, he will. The work is now on his table. He's the president now. We are talking of the current president. He has been there for 2 years. 2 years is enough to do one thing. See what is happening today. See NNPC. See light. See petroleum. See Penkasan. See Dango. There's somebody who came to alleviate the suffering of the people in terms of fuel, petrol, diesel. See what is happening to him. And the president is keeping quiet. See, today, no light everywhere. Nothing, and then you are saying that the president is making a speech. It's a sham. It's a shame to him. Goodbye.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris. Let's quickly take Blessing's thoughts, right? Blessing. And so we've been talking about we're talking about nation building, looking ahead, as well. But I would like to talk about the judiciary because you're a law student as well. And Mr. Jody was talking about how he had to go and bail someone, in the police station. The person did not do anything. And so sometimes people talk about justice served. Is justice served? Do you think that the judiciary, really is the hope of the common man? What do you think are the issues in the, judiciary when we talk about that? Because you're a law student and eventually, you would also get into these positions. And what do you think are the challenges as well? So you study law, you get out, getting a job. Do you think the pay is commensurate? I'd just like to hear your thoughts as we wrap up with you. Okay, we do not have her. Quickly, let us take the president's speech. We've played, the first aspects. Let's now talk about, because he talked about how things have improved. But yes, we couldn't take all of those details as to the macroeconomic increase, talking about GDP. But again, let's hear what he had to say.
Upon assuming of our administration inherited a near collapse economy caused by decades of fiscal policy distortions and misalignment that had impaired real growth. As a new administration, we face a simple choice: continue business as usual and watch our nation drift, or embark on a courageous fundamental reform path. We chose the path of reform. We chose the path of tomorrow over the comfort of today. Less than 3 years later, the seeds of those difficult but necessary decisions are bearing fruit. In resetting our country for sustainable growth, we ended the corrupt fuel subsidy and multiple foreign exchange rates that created massive incentive for a rentier economy, benefiting only a tiny minority. At the same time, the masses received little or nothing from our commonwealth. Our administration has redirected the economy towards a more inclusive path, channeling money to fund education, healthcare, national security, agriculture, and political economic infrastructure, such as roads, power, broadband, and social investment programs. These initiatives will generally improve Nigerians' quality of life as a result of the tough decisions we made. The federal and state government, including local government, now have more money to take care of the people at the lower level of the ladder to address our development challenges. I'm pleased to report that we have finally turned the corner. The worst is over, I say. Yesterday's pains are giving way to relief. I salute your endurance, support, and understanding. I will continue to work for you and justify the confidence you repose in me to steer the ship of our nation to a safer harbor. Under our leadership, our economy is recovering fast, and the reforms we started over 2 years ago are delivering tangible results. The second quarter 2025 gross domestic product grew by 4.23%. That's Nigeria's fastest pace in 4 years and outpaced the 3.4% projected by the International Monetary Fund. Inflation declined to 20.12% in August 2025, the lowest level in 3 years. The administration is working diligently to boost agricultural production and ensure food security to reducing food costs. Under our Renew Hope agenda, we promise to build a Nigeria where every young person, regardless of background, has an equitable opportunity to access a better future. Thus, the investment in digital and creative enterprise, IDICE program, this initiative is at the cusp of implementation. Our last 2 years, we have collaborated with our partners to launch the program, supporting our young builders and dreamers in the technology and creative sector.
All right, that was the president's speech. He also talked about security, how, we're winning the war against terror, and people are able to go back to their communities, especially in the north. But quickly, let us take Blessing's thoughts. How do you react to the president's speech? And before you left, I was talking about the judiciary, right, and access to justice. How do you feel about that? Because, they always say the judiciary is the hope of the last hope of the common man. Do you think it's still like that? And for law students, right, for opportunities, how is that, for you? Do you think, yes, at the end of the day, people are able to get these opportunities, or do you think at the end of the day, people just want to jackpot and run away quickly? Blessing, can you hear me?
Thank you very much. Yes, please, I can hear you.
All right, go ahead.
So access to justice in Nigeria still feels a little bit difficult for many people because the courts are meant to be a place where everyone, rich or poor, can get help and fair treatment. But that's not always the case sometimes. So many people don't trust the system because cases takes too long. Sometimes lawyers are expensive, and sometimes justice seems to favor only the powerful or those who can pay more. Or sometimes some don't even know their right or how to even start a case. So the judiciary is supposed to be the last hope of the common man. But right now, I would say we are coming up, like we are doing better. But although many Nigerians feel it's not only for the rich or connected, which is actually true. So if we want a better country or judicial system, the justice system must work for everyone, not just some people. So justice should not be delayed and should not be denied. Also, it should not be sold. So that is my view as regards the judiciary. And yes, there's actually hope for law students when they come out of the entire law school and what have you, when they come to the legal field. Like I said, you must know what works for you, and you must know your own trick. What value can you bring? Because I studied law, if I want to go into the property legal aspect and I want to there are lots of things I can do that pertains property law that can really earn me, that I don't need to really jackpot anywhere. One of it is the common real estate that we are seeing. A lot of things can come out from the law that you have read. So you just have to find something strategic, something that works for you, basically. And yes, my reaction to Mr. President's speech, a very good speech for me, but then it's called for all hands on deck for a greater nation. It's a powerful message, but one that must go beyond words. Now, Nigerians, especially the youth, are not short on willingness or patriotism. What we seek is inclusion and accountability. So if all hands must truly be on deck, then the leadership must first create space on that deck. So it's not just about the table of politics, but in the classroom, the job market, say the health sector, and every part of national life. Right now, too many young Nigerians feel like passengers on the ship. They're not even allowed to steer, or worse. One, they were never invited to board. I don't know if I'm making sense. So promises that were made last year and were not fulfilled this year should be followed through. Engagement is not a favor to young people. Engagement is never a favor to youth. To me, it is a necessity for national progress.
All right.
So while we hear Mr. President speak, we must also ask, will actions match the message or the passage?
Right.
Words don't build nation. Actually, people do. Finally. And we, the youths, we are ready. Okay. So I see it, but leadership must lead by example, by opening doors.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. There's a lot to talk about the judiciary, conflicting orders and corruption, and how, this also helps with the trust of, the students as well. Do people really want to continue when they hear about this issue? Is there that trust? But we'll let you go. Thank you so much, Blessing Adiogo, Law Students Association of Nigeria's president. We do appreciate your time on the program. Thank you. All right, let's quickly take some calls and then we'll come back to our guest. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Independence Day special.
Hello, good evening, Mrs. Zainab.
All right, Usman, go ahead quickly.
Okay, Mrs. Zainab, happy 65 years.
Yeah, I wish you the same.
No wish me.
Why?
This is our country. See, our politicians, they are stealing this country. You understand me? Somebody say we should pray for our leader. We should pray for our politicians. Let's pray to our politicians so that they make us keep their alive, so keeping the best of the country, keeping better our money. Make God keep their life. I pray for them every day. Let them keep better in our country. Let it better in our country. See, Mrs. Zainab, Nigeria, no. The country that produces food oil is not a final. It's not a shame, no life, nothing is working for the country. They are starting democracy. I beg, I'm not talking this Nigeria.
That's what Kenny Usman says. You say I cannot talk, and then you talk. I was still going to ask when you say no, Nigeria, and I was still going to ask with other countries. But let me come back to Mr. Jody so that you could also go. You were talking about advice to the government. What's your expectation? I mean, this is 65, or clock 60. There's going to be 70, 75. What do you think that the government on their part needs to do, right? I talked about, you talked about opportunities, right? How people have to do more. There's also the health sector where we see, these doctors, nurses also leaving. There's also the issue of, right?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. People talking about health when it comes to bills and the rest of it. So what do you think needs to be done going forward? What's your advice?
Please, my network is fluctuating, but I think I can hear you properly now. So the question is my advice for the government, right?
Yes, and then you can react to the speech as you wrap up.
Well, as for the president's speech, it is...
Right.
Well, growing up, we've been led on with a lot of promises here and there and there. But then I just want all Nigerians to just keep our hope high. Let's believe that a change is coming. And as for the government, I would go back on what I said earlier, that they should make sure that our curriculum and the job demand in the market is in the same line. So they should create more employment opportunities. They should invest more in the educational sector. And I believe our government knows the right things to do. So we should just hope and pray that they do the right thing. And we as the youth, we should be ready to make a change. My message to the youth today on this 65th anniversary of Nigerian independence is that we should take charge. It's not about sitting indoor, being on social media and criticizing. Let's go out there. Let's make impact. Let's be part of this government. Let's create opportunities for ourselves and our nation at large. So I believe that Nigeria will be great. Thank you very much for having me.
Because we're out of time, I would have said, what are this? Because you said take charge. So if the government is not willing to allow people, so how do you create those opportunities? But I know that you've also talked about this earlier.
Yeah, we should come together. We should come together and start creating opportunities for ourselves. That's worked in so many countries. We should start coming together, supporting each other businesses, investing in each other, linking each other up to opportunities, and there are a whole lot of things we can do even without the government. So I wish we have enough time to go deep into this, but I believe there will be another opportunity for that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Jody Adebobola, Lagos State University Students Union President. We do appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. All right. Let's see if we could take some calls before we come to our studio guest. 0913-5000-953. You can send a WhatsApp message to 009-682-2595. Hello, good evening. James Ogbona, go ahead. We don't have time. Happy Independence Day and Happy New Month.
Happy New Month. Yeah, that's what I would choose.
No, so I don't get why are you choosing New Month and leaving Happy Independence Day?
Happy 65 years. Let me put it like that.
Okay, so I don't get this happy 65 years but not independence. So maybe you could shed more light.
This is the first time I'm joining a program today on radio. I don't know, some I lost interest. I chose not to. In fact, I've not even heard the president's speech. So you got to just play it now. I'm the person of hearing his speech. Unlike before, I want to listen by 7 o'clock. I want to quickly hear what the president wants to say. But today, I didn't even know he gave a speech. I didn't even listen to the news. I didn't even listen to anything.
Why, James Ogbona?
Because I feel that it's just the regular. It's just the same thing over and over. There's nothing really new about the speech writing and all of those things like that. So what they said today is what is you will still say next year again. So I felt that it's just the same thing, Jared. I wish he's the one saying those things myself, but that's somebody writing those things for him. So and again, Zainab, you were asking. I don't know who was saying something about. I don't know who was saying something that the president met the way it is. Right? It didn't start with the president. Whatever is happening in the country, and
I was the one asking.
So, and I was going to ask you that if you enter into a vehicle and you find out that this vehicle is faulty, or as the driver is driving, they find out that this vehicle is faulty, or this vehicle is faulty, and the driver now tells you, I'm not the one. I just give it the vehicle and I just put it like, let me come out, drive it like and be going. Would you want to continue with that vehicle? Yeah.
But that's what the president has now said, that he met a bad economy, and so he had to, reform it, and that's why he removed all those things. And now we're seeing the changes. So are you seeing those changes? Because he said the West is over.
So for me, it's not about, it depends on who is there today. So the business has been faulty, so you shouldn't continue in a faulty foundation or something.
Right.
So the only thing I can say is that somehow I noticed that the dollar has been stable. I don't know if anybody has noticed that, because it has not gone up. It has remained in that 1.5 for more than 6 months now. It has been in that 1.5. It has not gone to 1.6, 1.2, 1.8.
All right.
I don't know why. So I think that's the only thing I can say he has done, which is good for me. Apart from that, nothing else.
Thank you so much, James Ogona. Let me come to Abdul Salam as we also try to wrap up. Your reaction to the president's speech. What do you think needs to be done going forward, right? Your advice to the government. And I know you wanted to say something earlier. Maybe I was talking about... Okay.
I wanted to say that this NEL fund, they said is reaching all schools, both university, polytechnics and colleges. But in our college, I don't think I've seen any students. But there was a space given for us to apply. But no students. I've not seen any students in my own school who has been a beneficiary of that particular fund.
So people applied, but they have not been.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's that. So for the speech, I think I'll take the phrase "all hands on deck for a greater nation." I think that is a call for a collective responsibility. It is a part that every sector, the governance and the citizen is meant. We are all meant to play a particular role. People have been lamenting on calls to this particular program, but can we ask ourselves, what role are we playing? The last time you ate something when you were traveling, or did you throw it on the floor, or you kept it in your bag to properly trash it? We need to ask ourselves that question.
Right.
So change starts from us, and this change that we are saying that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has not been able to do, this problem, he has just spent 2 years out of the 65 years. Does it take just a year or 2 years to solve a particular problem? No, things are not done that way.
But you know what some person says? He's the one that put us into this. So if we say, yes, it's been bad, but even the statistics is really not. You hear him say in the last 2 years, 3 years, and this was within his administration. You are the one that removed fuel subsidy, that made things like this, or the unification of the exchange rate. Now we're seeing it stabilizing from what you have done.
Yeah.
So, would you still say, okay, this is as a result of what others have done? Do we still take it back to, other leaders also contributing, or you think, okay, the president?
I don't think we need to blame anybody. We don't have to blame anybody, because it has been a culture of Nigerian. If another government comes in, we are always saying that this past governance has been better than this one coming in. So that's the culture of Nigeria. So now let's just give him time. After his time in office, if we don't see any change, that's when we can be able to blame him that he didn't do any impact. But just like Mr. Ogbonna mentioned, I think for me personally, I've been seeing impacts in my own community, the places I've traveled, and for what I've been seeing on the news and all, I've seen changes. I don't know
like what?
Like in primary healthcare infrastructures, and in hospitals, and in some roads that I've been to, I've seen changes. So that's just my own part in that.
Okay, let's quickly take this call. 30 seconds. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Mrs. Zainab.
Usman, you have called before. We do not have time. Noimat, let's hear your reaction to the president's speech and your advice, yes, going forward.
The president spoke a lot about nation building in his speech, and when we talk about nation building, it is easier to think about. It is just a government responsibility, but in reality, it's everyone's effort, everyone's work that we put into it. We should not just sit back and expect change to happen. Every hand must be on deck. Nation building is not just politics. It is in how the teachers educate, how doctors care for patients, how we the citizens treat the environment, and how the youth push for innovations.
Right.
And I feel like the leaders, our government, they should not just lead. They should not just lead with just their words and promises. They should lead with honesty.
Go ahead.
They should lead with honesty. They should lead with passion. Whatever it is they promised us this year, they should make sure they follow through it to the end.
Okay.
The youth, we shouldn't give up.
Right.
We should be engaged in civic participation. We should be involved. We should create innovations.
All right. Thank you so much, Noimat, and everyone has made, vital points here. Thank you so much for your contribution. And like you all have said, all hands needs to be on deck. Is it just about the government? He said, the people also have their role to play. So every single person. But again, the onus is on the government to ensure that they deliver on their promises. The Constitution says, those in government, what you need to do is ensure the security of the people and their welfare. So that also needs to be done. And so, I'll leave with, is the worst over? Because this is what the president said. And, that's a question that people will continue to answer. But we have to wrap up now. Thank you so much, Abdusalam Sharif Olayinka, Coordinator Not Too Young to Run Hub, Lagos State College of Health Technology, LASCOET. Thank you so much for being on the program this evening. Abdusalam, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me, Ms. Zainab.
Thank you so much, Olaonikpe Kunohimat, Secretary Not Too Young to Run Hub, LASCOET. We do appreciate your time on the program.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, we do appreciate that, coming all the way. And we also had the Lagos State University Students Union's President, Jody Adebobola, and we had the President of Lausanne, Blessing Adeogo. And that's it today on Independence Day special. We do appreciate your time, your calls, your contributions, but we hope that really all hands will be on deck, from the government to the people. Coming up next is the news at 6 p.m. I'm Zainab Baluku. Olu, many thanks for staying tuned.
We are Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos.
It's 6 o'clock. First Bank, you first.
Across Nigeria, Africa, and the world, this is Radio Now News.